Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a band called Vesperian Sorrow. Never heard of them until yesterday. Never heard of them before. So obviously, as is my norm, had to do a look up. Now, Vesperian Sorrow is a symphonic black metal band from Austin, Texas, which was founded in 1994. Previously, they were known as Unholy Descent until early 1999, which is when they changed their name to Vesperian Sorrow. Their lyrics tend to be less extreme than most black metal bands that generally cover things like Satanism, anti-Christianity, demons, and that sort of thing. Instead, their lyrics are more concerned with things like the cosmos, sorrow, sadness, darkness, that sort of thing. The name Vesperian Sorrow directly references this and translates to sadness or sorrow in the evening hours. So, there you go. Now, after their first demo, titled Unholy Descent in 1998, Vesperian Sorrow signed a deal with Displeased Records for the release of their debut album, Beyond the Cursed Eclipse, which was released in 1999, and continued with their second album, Psychotic Sculpture, in 2001. Before their third release, the band toured North America extensively, and then went on short tours in England, Germany, Czech Republic, etc. To promote their album. The third album, Regenesis Creation, was released in 2006 using their own label, Underscape Records. Throughout 2007 and 2008, Vesperian Sorrow toured extensively across the US and Canada, and played a couple of festivals in Mexico. And most recently, in June 2009, they were handpicked for direct support for the band Mayhem. That's got to be quite a feather in the cap there, to be picked by Mayhem. Obviously, they are like pioneers in the black metal genre, and they were chosen to do supporting gigs in Monterey and Mexico. The band then released Stormwinds of Ages on the Path Less Travelled record label on April 24th in 2012, and they are currently working on a new album. So, black metal band, handpicked by Mayhem, which is quite an impressive feat. So I've sort of got an idea what their sound might be. Well, it says symphonic black metal. Now, as we all know, I have varying degrees of taste in black metal, so we'll see how this goes. The track we're going to look at is a track called Stormwinds of Ages, which is from their 2012 album, which is their most recent album, I believe. So, yes, we're going to have a look at that. I've been waffling on for 3 minutes, so let's jump to the music and see what we've got. So, Stormwinds of Ages, a Vesperian Sorrow. Have a look. Right, I'm going to pause that for a moment. This is actually quite difficult to follow because the speed they're singing is quite hard to keep up with the lyrics. And I will say it took me quite a while to find lyrics for this song. So there is a chance that some of these lyrics might not be accurate. I know several times I've covered videos and I've had lyrics and the lyrics haven't been exactly correct. So there is a possibility that some of these lyrics might not be accurate. But so far, this is actually pretty good. You know, it's quite heavy, quite fast, but it's... You know, it's got all those black metal elements in it, but it's not... Like... I don't know, there's just something that differentiates it from traditional black metal, which is normally just very fast, repetitive guitar riffs that don't have much variation to them. This has got quite a lot of melody and variation within the guitar riffs and such. So, yeah, I'm quite liking this so far. Now, the lyrics, so far they go, "Now lords have risen, beset on conquering the opposed. In the night thunder crashes, dark clouds begin to form, lightnings bright, asunder and masses the beginning of the storm. Armies amassed, weapons attached, winds to heed the call. Landscapes past, plots are hatched, fields are where they fall." So they're obviously singing about some kind of battle, some sort of conquest of armies. It carries on. I believe this is the chorus, if not, you know, it's repeated twice in the part that I've heard so far. And it goes, "Goddess and maiden and queen of the night, be near us now and befriend. We have suffered long enough, having seen pain in the end, a bitter goddess to follow. Beautiful queen to behold, we carry on with hearts so hollow, revenge for the past shall unfold." It carries on. "From the sky comes the storm, ages and aeons past, rising high locusts swarm, pages of scripture last. Dead ages lying under the rotted roots of trees, in darkness beneath, under, plotting death for the enemy." And then it goes back into that chorus like verse, saying, "Goddess and maiden and queen of the night, be near us now and befriend. We have suffered long enough, having seen pain in the end, a bitter goddess to follow, beautiful queen to behold. We carry on with hearts so hollow, revenge for the past shall unfold." So it just seems to be talking about some kind of war against armies and stuff, and they're sort of... It's almost like they're praying to this goddess to help them, to give them the strength to win over whoever is attacking. So, I'm not really sure if that's what it's about, but that's what it seems to be about. Let's carry on. Stormwinds of Ages by Vesperian Sorrow. I really quite like that. You know, as many of you know, and as I said earlier, I have a very sort of touch and go relationship with black metal. Some of it I think is really, really good. Some of it I think is just goddamn awful, and some of it is okay. This was actually very, very good. There's a lot more. There's a lot more melody in it than I was expecting, if that makes any sense. You know, although they are a symphonic black metal band, you know, there was the actual guitar riffs and sound were not sounds that I would generally associate with black metal. You know, the riffs had so much variation throughout them that a lot of true black metal doesn't have. I mean, there were elements of it in there, obviously, but you know, it was quite interesting and different. Very, very good. Now the song carried on. Gods dethroned and deceased, banished forth storming plague. From our wrath's wind released, thwarted law, faith is vague. Fallen lords, thou art fallen, broken and cast to the ground. Destroying thrones, empires collapsed, belittled and stripped from the crown. Winds of the storm from ages unveiled. A curse of death rides on the winds, seasons of never-ending misery. Moons of everlasting grief blanket the lands. Tidal waves of horror crash upon the shores. Heavens rain down the asps of sorrow. Demons of the abyss spew forth the fires of war. So that last bit seems to be talking about the fact that this army has been defeated. You know, it's going into detail about the fact the fallen lords are fallen. You know, thou art fallen. You've been defeated. Submit. Give up. Don't try anything. Your empires are... You destroyed thrones and empires collapsed. You know, you've been beaten, defeated. You know, your empire has fallen, essentially. And it says, belittled and stripped of the crown. So, you know, the lords of the land have been removed from power, shall we say. And then it then it details, like, you know, then it goes into some really interesting things. It's like the curse of death rides on the winds. Seasons of never-ending misery. So, you know, we have defeated your armies. You know, death is all around you. You know, there's going to be a long period of mourning for those that you've lost. The fact that your empire has fallen, for the fact that we have taken over your empire, essentially. So, yeah, I quite like that. You know, I like the way it was written as well. It's very nicely written. Like I said, there is a chance that the lyrics might not be 100% accurate because it was quite hard to find them. Because I was actually going to look. I was actually going to look at another track. I can't remember what the name of it was now, but I could not find lyrics for it absolutely anywhere. It was impossible. So I looked at this one instead, and yes, I really quite liked it. Like I said, and musically, it's not the style of black metal that I'm really familiar with. Or I am familiar with it in a sense. It's just there's something about it which doesn't sound like traditional black metal. You know, there's much more melody in the music, and I like it. And the vocal style as well is slightly different from what black metal normally is, but again, still very, very good. And there was a little bit of variation throughout the vocals. You know, sometimes it was a sort of deeper growl rather than a slightly higher growl that they were using throughout the most of the song. So, still very, very good, very, very interesting. You're going to have a look through their back catalogue and have a listen, see what the rest of the material is like, and look forward to when their new album comes out, so we can have a look at that then. But I can't really think of much else to talk about from that song and the band, so I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook and my Instagram, or you could even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support the channel, help me create future content, maybe even improve the quality of the content therein. I do know, though, if you do make a suggestion, there is a possibility it might take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many new tracks every single day. My list of tracks grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while to get around to it. But it will get done eventually. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those revolving around people of the alternative culture. Something that I believe in very, very strongly, something I'm very, very passionate about, because it's something I have been through myself. And so have many of my friends, many of my family members, and I know some of you out there have been through it too. It's something that, it boggles my mind that people use that as an excuse to attack people. It's like, they listen to alternative music, so we're going to attack them, we're going to threaten them, we're going to, you know, physically and verbally abuse this person because they like alternative music. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, what is their objection to it? You know, what effect does it really have on their life? You know, the fact that I listen to alternative music, how does that affect their life in any way? It doesn't. You know, I'm not forcing them to listen to the music. You know, if they don't like it, they don't have to listen to it, but it's not an excuse to attack someone. But the thing is, this is something that happens every day all over the world. And, you know, people are getting severely injured. People are getting brutally assaulted. You know, some people are even getting hospitalised just because of their taste in music. You know, and it's really bizarre and strange to me. Because, I mean, you don't attack someone because they like different TV shows or movies to you. You don't attack someone because they like different foods to you, do you? So why is music the tipping point? Why is that the one thing that people focus on? You know, why is that the trigger for these violent attacks? It's nonsensical. I mean, if you don't like the music someone's listening to, you don't listen to it. It's really, really simple. If you don't like the clothes that someone's wearing, you don't look at them. You know, none of these things are reasons to attack someone, but it's happening. You know, and it's getting out of hand. I mean, when you look at what happened to Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby, you know, these two people were just walking home. They were like 20, 21 at the time. They were walking home, minding their own business, and they were set upon by a group of 5 or 6 people and violently and viciously attacked just because of the way they were dressed and because of the music that they listened to. You know, these people that attacked them didn't know them. They just saw that they were goth, didn't like it, and attacked them brutally. And, you know, both of them ended up in a coma. Rob Maltby, thankfully, he survived. He came out about a week or so, I can't remember exactly, after the assault. But Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days before she eventually died. You know, she was murdered just because people didn't like her taste in music. You know, it's senseless, it's pointless, it doesn't accomplish anything, so what is the point in it? You know, we can't let this happen. You know, it's happened before, and if things carry on the way they are, it's going to happen again, and we cannot allow that to happen. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to stop this from ever happening again. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die. You know, it shouldn't ever have happened, and it should never happen again. You know, but it doesn't get enough recognition. It doesn't get talked about nearly enough. The only time this sort of thing gets spoken about is when something tragic happens, and that shouldn't be the case. There should be more attention on it. You know, something needs to be done to stop this from happening. And, you know, that's basically what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about, you know. If you want to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their goal is, because they can explain it so much better than I can. And if you can help them out in any way at all, you know, even if it's a tiny little donation through their website, or even something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands that you can get from their web store, if you can help them in any small way, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.